Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Utze. It's the Champions League qualifications, again in Group A, after we've witnessed a pretty close match in the first semi-final in this group, where Marty was able to eke out a win in the decider by 1 point. It's down to these two duel out who will play Marty in the upper final, and who will have to take the longer route into the possibly consolidated final, where these two actually could meet again, as the loser of the upper final will be relegated to the CF. Both masters, both strong players, one world champion, one not world champion, but it was quite a few years ago, and the recent the recent games went to Glovir, and it wasn't just a match in a friendly or something. This date here and the thinking times or running time of the games might be an indication when this happened. It was the WTCOC, the final game, final match in the group stage for Romania versus Portugal. And the Portuguese players were able to eke out a 3-2 win there to kill all hopes of Romania reaching the playoffs. Actually, if these two would have been the other way around, so if Mars would have won, Romania would have won and would have secured the playoff spot. So maybe he will try to avenge that loss today. We'll see about that. Other two matches over here. Well, the one was earlier this year, the other one in 2021. So overall, I think more or less equally strong players. Let's actually take a look at the rating evolution. This is Glovir. So there's a peak over 700. There might as well have been other peaks. It's just that this stat gets only refreshed once per day. So if you'd go to 720 and lose the 20 points in one day, it might just not be visible in this chart. Overall, this looks pretty solid. Around 600, more or less since 2022. And let's quickly check. Mars looks like they have already started, but I think check, yeah, 2%. So one move played maybe. Yeah, it's more or less the same. Maybe with a bit more swing to it, but more peaks over 700. So maybe one could consider Mars to be the favorite here, but we'll see about that. Oh, quite the fast play here. Sorry for missing these moves early on. So Glovir started here, Mars countered, Glovir added this one, Mars countered, Glovir couldn't do anything, took this road, then Mars obstructed this city. Glovir did go for this block here, didn't work. Now he has to secure this city up top and sure hopes to draw a cap to close it, or at least something to protect the city. And in this case, I would have used this starting tile over here. There are still three roses left to close this one, and leaving this open gives blue this chance to equalize the city, whereas this could be a huge chunk to be scored, and it doesn't really matter to split this road into two. You could then, upon completion of the city, take this road here. Whereas this extension, indirect extension of your road is nice, but once the city is closed, blue might just take this road just to max the impact of a road Dorito here. Yeah, I don't see the need for this quick place. 50 minutes are sure a lot of time. So taking at least a few seconds to think about some moves might be in order. Healthy monasteries for blue, which is sure nice. Yellow attacks their city, and blue now thinks what to do with this vanilla. And with only one meeple in hand, the answer ain't straightforward. They go for this option. I would have picked the other side, actually. There is an outside chance of this somehow being involved into these shenanigans there. So, for example, some big city tiles over here would definitely be annoying. And the chance of this happening on the left side, the chances weren't there at all. And two, well, daggers were both two present, so this didn't matter. Limitation of yellow city from the left or right side would have been with the same odds. Yeah, not sure why blue chose this one. For now, they are ahead though. Yellow tries to secure the road, but there's still a chance of blue getting a straight over here to liberate these two monks and take the road. Yes, they threaten their city, possibly united city, but the upside of not letting yellow run away with this 11-point road sure is worth it. Plus, getting meeples back is always nice. This is also not without risk. Something like that. Limitation to 2 daggers. 1 splitter gone. So would be rather easy to kill this one on the right side. For example, like this. So blue liberates the monks, attacks yellow's road. For now, blue's side of the road is worth even 2 points more than yellow's 4 here. But yellow gets to close their city and oh, my sentence didn't end, right? And extricates them out of this possible blocking situation here. This works good for them. Now they have this field, which likely will extend to this city here. Also, this might be completed, although maybe it's unlikely. This here could as well. So many options, but blue might just counter sometime. This is interesting to say the least. If the square were killed now with one yellow and one blue meeple, it would be in yellow's favor. They are the party winning the mini battle now. In addition to yellow's field up top, there's also an unclaimed 9-point field at the bottom. Right now, it's favoring yellow more because they have 2 meeples in hand versus blue's 1. And they could even take it. I mean, it's not ideal to have 2 fields, but I'd rather have 2 fields and split the opponent's forces, because they quite surely can't take over both when they are spread so thin with meeples all over the place. And you might just guarantee yourself either this or that field. For now, it sure looks nice for yellow. Harassing blue city at the bottom, taking away the simple closing option with 1 cap. Now they at least need 2 pieces to close this city. And yellow scores 57 points there. Blue, of course, doesn't want to kill this square. They'd rather... Okay. Color me surprised. Not sure. At 11 points down, I would kill this road monastery option, which sure would be nice for blue. Yes, it's a 50-50, but you need the points, so why not? On the other hand, attacking 1 field might work as well, but then you're out of meeples for now. So blue needs a curve or crossroad to liberate 1 meeple. Not surprising. Yellow plays against blue's meeple, trying to limit this square to at least something, maybe to a crossroad. But now yellow might need to defend this square. There's still 1 splitter left, which would connect blue's farmer into their field, and could also then leave this one stranded there if the city is killed from the top. And yellow could have prevented that, but they opt to play against a blue's meeple, maybe hoping to even kill the square by getting something in there road-wise from the top, as the quadruple crossroad is already gone. So yellow takes the splitter option away from blue, as this would give them a beetle back, sure, but yellow would score more points than them. 6 versus 10 in this case. So -4 points instead of -2 right now. But if this connection doesn't happen, blue might still use the splitter. For now, they hope to close this city. Now they get the splitter. And that's the question. Do you go for this move? Just to connect into yellow's field, giving them the chance up here to re-attack the field? Or do you go at the bottom, trying to give your city better chances of completion, but also leaving this cap out there for anyone to take, with still 3 caps left? And blue opts for the bottom way. 1 Dorito is immediately drawn by yellow. So now there's only 1 piece left. Yellow didn't meeple this city. Blue closes it to take away this possible 8-point option from yellow. But yellow immediately counters by killing blue city. And now blue equalizes this one, which is the better outcome for them. Also connects to yellow's city, so a 5-point move net, 5-point move for them, taking at least temporarily the lead in this game by 1 point only, though. And I think yellow will re-attack the field. They'd have straights and crossroads on the top side, and there's only 1 piece to immediately block here. That would be the Dorito, and there are still curves, 1 curve and 1 road street to connect here. And even if all that doesn't work out, which is rather unlikely to happen, but it could, at least they would have a 6-point field. The downsides are leaving this 4-point road there and the open city cap for blue to take. So, well, blue needs a crossroad for the other road anyway, so yep, it is what it is. Figuring that yellow needs to connect, they might even use a crossroad to connect here and not take this road. So this here takes priority. There's also this option still available for blue to re-attack. And yellow thinks, at least I'd surmise, about this move to preempt a blue attack here. They'd still have the 2 pieces here and some more for the other route, even though the block would still be available. Or it might just be a connection problem by yellow. So they take this away. Yeah, it works. And quite well at that. Blue might just add pressure here. I don't really see a good alternative, actually. Score is close, so if they somehow thwart yellow's field attack, they should be able to win this one with their 2 versus 1 meeple advantage. Although it's unlikely to work, because if yellow doesn't get anything to immediately connect, they could get either one of the Doritos or the dagger to actually protect this square to a 50-50, with the downside being forced to add 1 point to blue, and therefore I would peg yellow on just taking 4 points, hoping to still outrun yellow's 2 blue meeples here. And blue could add a farmer there, hoping to draw the curve to effectively take away 6 points from yellow if successful. And if not, well, there is no other route, as there's only the 1 curve left, else this here could work. In this case, it just doesn't. But the monastery might later be used for a field attack over here. So blue doesn't go for the field equalization. Instead, they just kill this connection square and add 1 point to their ruin. This square now is dead, as this was the last road Dorito. Good news for yellow. They get the one and only complete blocking piece over here. They protect this square, still having 2 options: the monastery and the straight left to connect. Monastery is in blue's hand, so at least this attack isn't available to them anymore. They could still try to attack the bottom field. 1 curve left. So this here could work. But the problem is they need to hope to draw the straight. So they'd need to find any way to use the straight productively. Hi, Marty. Congratulations, by the way. So Marty suggested this year, or this doesn't really matter, to take the points, I think. Yeah, maybe. I'm definitely not convinced that this move was necessary, but actually it's a good move. It secures 2 pieces, and if you don't, then the curve or the crossroad would limit your connection options to exactly one piece, namely crossroad or curve. So this here gives you better odds to connect to the field, and therefore not taking the 6 points might be okay. On the other hand, these 6 points would push your lead to 9. Well, it will come down to the wire, though. Yellow will take 5 points, sorry, on the left. And at +5, if blue connects here with the curve, then yellow would be guaranteed to draw the straight to connect. And if tiles were reversed, so blue getting the straight, they could at most score 4 points on the right side, I think. So there will be 4-point road left for Glovir to take. And in the end, it will be yellow surviving this one here, even though he had good odds to connect. He didn't, but it didn't matter. He will win this one. And then we'll see. If earlier matches today are any indication, then Mars should win the second. We've only had close matches today, all going the maximum of games in the best of 3, all needing a decider. So we'll see if this will be an outlier or if it follows suit. Yeah, so in this case, taking this ruin would have prevented yellow from taking 9 points. So they would have won anyway, just with a closer score. But there might have been permutations in which they still would have lost even with these 6 points. I would need to check back later. For now, let's check if these two have already started their second game. They haven't so far. Then let me take a sip of tea for now. So this time, right back to catch the beginning, not missing any moves. Mars wasting time. There is only the one move to make. So 33 seconds. That's more or less the average you have for each move here. Roughly, it's a tad less, 26, 25 seconds, but still wasted anyway. So we'll see if a complicated endgame will appear here and the wasted seconds would hurt in the end. We are taking this one, knowing full well that there might be obstructions incoming. But looks like he doesn't mind, especially in the beginning when all daggers are still there. it's not really that problematic. And with this orientation, there are definitely more caps to close your city than the other way around. In this case, it worked out fine and puts him on the scoreboard with 8 points. This cap could work, but any Dorito blue would have been very annoying. This here more or less is the ideal continuation, pressuring this square, likely going over here, although it's not ideal to create this possible loop, but the upside of possibly not just limiting, but killing 2 blue meeples for 4 points in the early game is worth it. Blue, though, gets the perfect piece to extricate themselves from this rather complicated situation. The only thing they are thinking about is whether they should meeple the road end here. And I think the answer should be yes. They don't, they go for the field, which would give then yellow the chance to snatch this 6-point road. So in case of completion, they would at least score some points as compensation. Yellow will take the farm on the right side now just to equalize blue's farmer here. Nice monastery by blue, controlling yellow's city. 1 dagger is already gone, so a limitation from the right side by blue would create problems here. Yellow doesn't care about it, and they don't continue their city there. They just hope to draw a cap soon. Not sure I like it with this 3-point, 4-point road in the backyard of yellow's possible city. Now, blue for sure would love to get a Dorito like this and force yellow's road meeple into a dead square there. Blue doesn't add a meeple here because they only have the one in hand. So we'll see. A starting tile. And if yellow would close the road, might not use the first starting tile if they get one. It will depend on the situation then, and especially the meeple count. If you can starve your opponent's meeple on a 2-point city, you'd rather not score these 6 points, even though there would still be more starting tiles to come. A risky business over here with their road in the vicinity. Any obstruction from the bottom would limit this to the 2 remaining daggers. They might even protect it now. They don't. Instead, they attack not the city actually, but the square. So blue has to defend. Yellow, in this case, definitely won't take this road. Instead, they will take the 4-point city, of course. 5 points actually, adding 1 to the monk. There is the starting tile for blue, scoring a healthy 10 points, also uniting this field, adding another 3 points net, that is, as yellow's field was at 6 points already versus blue's 3. And, well, a tricky decision for Mars. Do you go here? The hopes of closing your city later, or do you threaten the kill of yellow's second farmer and their road? And the priorities here actually are right. At least I think they are. I would have done exactly the same. The upside of possibly killing these two is definitely way greater than possibly scoring this city on your own, while also giving this meeple back to your opponent. Well, you would get your monastery meeple back as well, so okay-ish, but still not great. Supplying them with another meeple and points. So yeah, yellow will defend, and I don't see the need to overfarm right now, so this here I definitely wouldn't do. But Glovir decides differently, tries to really take this one over and secure it for the remainder of the game. At -7, we'll see if this works out. For sure, he needs one of the 2 remaining daggers. So if blue gets both, this should be a surefire win for them. But if not, well, it would add another city to yellow's field. It would see them securing the farming lead here with 3-1. Also adding more pieces to the road, and would sure boost their chances to win this game. Therefore, it's in blue's interest to limit city options here. This one is okay. Adding the cap to the outside works as well. Would be great for them if they could add more caps to their field, but that's pretty limited. The road monastery would be a nice addition there, helping them quite a lot. And also there is still a chance for blue to take the city completely. They would need in the extender and 2 Doritos though. Well, I think with only 1 meeple in hand, it's more likely they'd close their cap, their city, but we'll see. Yeah, exactly, Stephen. Hi, by the way. Stephen says, let's see if that over farming will be punished or not. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the reason why Glovir did this is because if he doesn't, then it's pretty likely blue would add a farmer here to then connect once the dagger for yellow hits. Blue wouldn't use the dagger there. There's no need, but yellow would, just for this road meeple. and then the field would be tied again. So this is why yellow placed the farmer there. What this neglects, though, is the meeple situation of blue. It wasn't really that likely for them to hop onto this field, at least not immediately. They might, after getting at least one of their meeples back, this one here, actually the road meeple, which yellow tries to prevent there, or at least delay. And here we go. There is the dagger for, oh, sorry. It's in blue's hands. Sorry, folks. So only one dagger left. Mars at plus 13. And if you're yellow, well, what is there except snatching the city? You can't add the twin caps there. Just give this city to blue. That's not gonna fly here. Yeah. Road end works. You don't have a meeple in hand. Can't score these 4 points. By the way, this square is dead. This was the last extender. Blue forces yellow into the road there, leaving only 2 caps, 1 starting tile, and the Dorito, which yellow needs on the right side. So effectively only the 1 starting tile. Close it immediately, but there are still 2 road Doritos plus a bunch of other caps left. So this here might be the one crucial misstep by yellow in the end. Maybe it would have been better just to add these caps somewhere else. And there is the second dagger in blue's hand, and this game will go to blue. They can't kill yellow's city here. This is not a kill. There would still be a starting tile left. Also, this trade limits the city, but it secures actually a field attack here. So still 3 curves left, and blue could go for it with 2 meeples in hand. They don't. They rather try to finally kill yellow's city and their last chance in this game. So far it didn't work. Yellow can't defend. One last chance, quite likely at minus 14. They could still close this road, but they won't get any other meeple back except for this one, and this here is now dead. There's just no dagger left for this space. Yeah, yellow closes the road, of course, so giving them at least the meeple back, but at minus 18 against 2 blue meeples. Is there still a chance? Well, there is a chance, and that's why they played this straight. There is this route to connect into the main field. And they only need a cap, but there's none left. Blue drew the last vanilla. Both vanillas, actually. Yeah. So then there's no way for yellow anymore. Even taking over the field would only score 12 points anyway, so that's just not enough. And therefore, is it a 6th or 7th match today? Doesn't matter. It's definitely another one with the decider. All close matches here, as is to be expected due to the quality of participants. Oh, I don't know what Mars is doing, but quite likely he's just checking if there's anything he still needs to do, and I don't think so. Oh, well, there's still another route for yellow into the main field. This here would work with the monastery there, or like this, and this one. Blue could kill both options now, like this, but why do so? There's actually no need at all. Would be the most precise move, though. There's no other cap left, so yellow couldn't score these 2 caps. So no way to add points to their field. Well, we'll see if he goes for this. Yeah, he did. So taking even this, let's call it score correction away from yellow. They take a 6-point field on the left side. Doesn't matter. Mars will take maybe a 7-point road, or more precise, likely the 4-point road while keeping the meeple in hand, or more precisely, getting the monk back into their hand, exchanging it. Oh, and there's still another route into the main field again. Damn it, there's still a road monastery left for yellow. So if blue wants to block it, of course, they could use the curve over here. Again, it doesn't really matter, but if you want to be precise, why not until the end of the game? If it's about the biggest difference you can manufacture, well, then this move would be it. At least if you want to secure it. This here, of course, could give them a bigger spread in the end, but only in 50% of the cases when they draw the road monastery themselves for 7 points on the right side. So my money is on move 1 and not on move 2. As long as he takes the road. That's interesting. Yeah, and now 1 point, or what else? Okay. Anyway, 26 points spread in the end. more or less coming down to this one here, the third farmer, which definitely hurt in the end. But what hurt way more was missing out on these 2 daggers. Yeah, so maybe just leave this empty. And even if blue then hops on there, as long as you get a dagger, there would have been another chance later on to attack the field somehow, somewhere. I don't know, maybe even over here. So yeah, still, I get this third farmer here, but well, it turned out to be the wrong decision, but hindsight is hindsight. Third game and decider is more important than lingering in history here. So blue, 8 points on the scoreboard, not being offset by the monastery as of yet. Yellow doesn't take the road, as there would be a chance to be pressured on this square. But in a case where my opponent already has 8 points on the scoreboard, plus an open cap, I don't think leaving this road up for grabs is the right decision. I mean, you don't want to lose this square, and you don't like to getting pressured on the right side as well, but in some cases there's just no other way than taking a feature that just ain't great. And quite likely it would have worked for yellow. So they opt to create juicy monastery squares, which would be another route back into the game here. Blue trying to pressure this square, maybe taking away the monastery square by adding a Dorito or big city tile up there. So for example, this here, I think, is the move which blue will elect in the end. They could also go for this, harassing both yellow's city and road at the same time. 2 meeples with 1 stone, or one could call this, but they opt to take away the highest value from yellow, which is killing this monastery square. Still the other one though, which blue I think should take, might take. They don't. Okay. I'm not the biggest fan of this decision. Sure, limitation of yellow's city is definitely a good idea. And for now it works out fine for them. But granting yellow the chance to add a monastery there, I don't know. Could turn south fast. Maybe this road here was what swung the pendulum in favor of this move. Also yellow farmer maybe with this here, and green squares maybe. Another monastery square killed. Also adding options to pressure yellow's road, which doesn't work. Another monastery for blue, and this time no good option. This is the best, but still problematic with two roads leading to the monastery there. There are still 3 daggers left. So the immediate defense by blue would still give them more caps to close the city, but also allow for an easier kill with 2 roads, for example, like this here. So they might not go for the defense in this square, else building up your monastery might be a consideration. Saving the city isn't, as yellow threatens to connect anyway and might just not. So actually this here is more Ukrainian technique against blue's monastery and city than anything else. So yellow could create a bigger ruin over here and just kill the square. Yep, they play against this one. Sorry, it's under threat, not killed. Looks like blue's decision here was spot on, considering these tile run out. Yellow quite likely would have restricted, and blue immediately got the cap. And now it hurts that yellow didn't add a farmer. This here works out for blue like a charm, adding the splitter to possible cities on their field. And if they close this one and the bottom one later, I would expect them to even add a second farmer. If it weren't for this situation here, it might still take a while to get one of these 2 meeples back. So adding a second farmer might be too early, as they then would be down to 1 meeple, and at least some features like not immediately completable cities would sure be rather risky. Yeah, and the option of adding a farmer there is gone anyway. So they still continue with the road up top. Yellow takes 1 point here, 4 minus 3. In the end, though, they could very well tie the field. The other option would be just to limit the field to these 12 points. 12 points if blue city gets closed. There's no horse left, so yellow can't just close the road here easily. Won't use a rose here, of course. Blue continues with the road. Yellow attacks it now. And blue might just prevent this attack from working by forcing this loop here, needing a crossroad. The downside for them is to get this meeple back, this road needs 2 road ends, but yellow might supply 1. Could then consider to take a field here. So yellow saves the square, still all 5 Doritos, plus a splitter left to liberate their monastery if there also happens to be a vanilla in their cards. Blue definitely won't help them here. There's no reason why they should. So yellow needs one of the vanillas and one of these 6 pieces on the right side to liberate this monk. In the meantime, yellow adds this dagger. There's only one left for blue to close their city. And once this is completed, it would open up the field to attack. Blue added this one. And this one. Meanwhile, I don't get this. Why didn't blue add this here over there to protect their monastery? It is because this here wasn't in place. Okay, then I get it. End of the story. This monastery is dead. Blue defense against the possible field invasion by yellow. There's still this option left through the dagger. But if you hope to access this field that way, you might need to use a curve here just to protect that square. And at -9, but with the at least temporary meeple majority, I don't think this is the time for measures like that. Yeah, he takes the 6-point field. Well, it depends, actually. I mean, this here would have accomplished the same, would also taken this field, wouldn't put pressure on the square. And therefore, yellow took this option because they'd rather prevent this here, these two here, from being into their player's hands, as yellow is likelier to get a meeple back than blue, and so they'd rather keep the meeple count at 1 for now, hoping to have a bigger advantage with less meeples, and that's exactly right. 2 versus 1 meeple majority definitely works in most cases more in your favor than 3-2 or 4-3 even. Thinks about meepling the farm, doesn't. That's okay. There's still a twin cap left, like this here, to score this city. Also to possibly attack this field. Yeah, blue protected this road square to the 2 remaining roses, and then got one almost immediately, 2 moves after, scoring net 1 point, but getting the precious second meeple back. Yellow kills this one and now takes the field. Okay. There's the remaining dagger in blue's hand. So just in time. And I think in this case, Yellow could have even considered this one. The problem, though, would have been that they are very unlikely to get this meeple back. They would need a curve plus crossroad or rose, but blue would be able to get this meeple back and then counter yellow's farming attack. So therefore, yellow takes this approach, hoping to draw the twin caps and maybe then going for this attack. And if blue would really like to add volatility, they'd place the dagger here, but I don't think they will. They could put a bit more pressure on this square, taking away at least the twin cap and the remaining dagger here. Also, it would be an option to attack yellow's field there. There are still 4 Doritos left, plus 1 vanilla. So at this point in the game, with 12 tiles left, 11 plus the one in yellow's hand, chances to successfully attack a field aren't getting better than 5 out of 12. Of course, there would be options for yellow to threaten and then kill the square, but sure looks an idea that could work. On the other hand, we're talking about 9 points here, so there might be other options to score these. So in the end, blue decides to kill the square, not going for volatility here. So leaving this as is would be then a flipping for the twin caps for 6 points, and blue just takes it away. They are the starting player after all. So why not? They will have the last move. But this square here, this cap actually, could become problematic for blue in the end. The option to attack the field, though, is still present, and the problem for yellow is juicy upside, and you really don't want to see blue taking this cap away from you or hurting your chances to close this in any way, shape, or form. So at least if blue were to place something over here, they now have to give yellow points. So looks like yellow threw the first stone in this endgame. And these 6 points quite likely, this rune will grow quite likely. There's still a quadruple city left. There are multiple Doritos left. So even if blue were to attack the field and successfully at that, if it weren't with this vanilla, then this city here could outrun blue's field attack. As it is, though, blue doesn't go for the field attack, and I think this move here by yellow, without me playing the cap, taking away 2 out of 3 immediate completions, Might be it. Yes, there are still options for blue to continue this. But still, I think that's your best shot here. Yeah, and yellow goes for it. Blue really can't take this one. There are too many problematic pieces out there which would harass their city. But what should blue do then? Yeah, I thought about this. They could attack the field here. But the problem would be the quadruple city, which would immediately kill this one, which is annoying anyway. Here goes. Will they add it here? We'll see. Yellow just continues their ruin, adding more pressure on the square. There are now 2 killing options available. This isn't one. There's still one Dorito left, so this doesn't kill. The Dorito would have killed, as it's the last one. And the curve as well. But this is good news anyway for yellow, because it takes the immediate completion of blue's city from the table. The only chance blue still has to complete this city would be adding the extender and this rose. That's actually not the only option. There would also be this permutation available to them. But that's rather unlikely, hitting these 3 in succession. So yellow is at +7. They have to take care of both these city caps, not leaving anything in the open. So blue can't score 4 points. Easy option would be just to dump them on their field. And this might be just it. So they can't take one of these ruins. +7. If they would get 5, they would be at +12, and even closing this city with a shielded extender wouldn't really net a lot of points for blue, expanding their city from 2 to 10 points, but giving 3 back to yellow. So scoring net 5 points for 2 moves at possibly -12, that's just not enough. So So what else is there for blue? Well, there would be this attack. So maybe this here. Yeah, looks like it actually. Just taking away this option from blue, which is rather unlikely to happen, but could. Either with the rose, which would be annoying, of course, or extender, or this Dorito. Yeah, and I think yellow found the best move available to them, taking away a possible field attack. They get 2 points for their city up top. They are at +7. And let's see if there's anything else. I don't see another option for blue to still attack this 9-point field by yellow. So quite frankly, their best shot is to take this one here, tie the game temporarily, which doesn't help, as yellow will just score some points either with the curve or 7 points with the last remaining rows. So this permutation is actually the best one for blue, as it looks like yellow will only score 5 points over here. 2 for the road, 3 for adding another city to their field, and blue will just add 1. And this then gives Glovir a 4-point win. And yeah, indeed, definitely good games. Wouldn't fault blue for taking this city. I mean, we'd have to dive deeper, and well, I might just. Taking away this cap was crucial. There were 2 options, either from the top, but at this point in time, yellow already had this ruin in their possession. Maybe it was a miss from blue not attacking this field here and hoping to draw the vanilla themselves, maybe. Let's check back. So for now, let's take a look at Group A here. So Glovir wins versus Mars and will meet Marty in the upper final. The winner will secure a spot to the league stage of this season's Champions League, and the loser of this upper final will move to the consolidated final and will have another shot on matches best of 3, of course, to secure a ticket to the Champions League again. And the loser here will meet either Norbert's96 or Kamaras in the lower semifinals, to then meet one of these 3 with the win in the lower final, and maybe then these 2 could meet again in the consolidated final. Although Glovir, he's definitely the one who wouldn't like to meet Mars again in this tournament, as he'd rather see Marty losing and being relegated to the consolidated final. So let's take a look at the situation when Mars still could have attacked Glovir's field in the last game. So was this the first Dorito? Yeah. No, this was the one when yellow took it. Didn't blue have a Dorito earlier? Or a chance? Ah, it was the move right before that one. So then let's just go there. So the game is tied. Worst case for blue would be yellow hitting one of the 3 caps to not just score these 4 points, add a city to their field, but also take away this field attacking option. And this is crucial because everything on the right side would be immediately killable by getting a curve, or with the other dagger, limitation to a 50-50 would work, and it would also be a 50-50 with Doritos like that, as all monasteries are gone, and there would only be the vanilla left to connect there. Yeah, Glovir was paranoid with this field, and rightfully so, because I still think this field was the most promising avenue for blue to win this one. I mean, they opted for this rather defensive move, which actually I'm not sure I like. At this point in time, if yellow were to get the twin caps, I don't think they would go for this 50-50 attack. Instead, I would expect yellow to score these points here. So you take away one option, but the higher scoring option is still present. So, yeah, so Glovir didn't really like this move as well, or maybe he did like it, but he quite likely wouldn't have played it if he were blue. I mean, I still like it. I still like it. Chances of this here being killed are minuscule with this many roads out there. Yeah, in some cases the other ones could help, but I think there aren't a lot. Sure, yellow would quite likely take the city, and even a successful attack here would only lead to a tied game. And actually, this connection spot is problematic. If you get the Dorito there, well, with 3 caps, 4 caps even, have to meeple it, and then both your meeples are gone. And if the square then gets, well, let's say restricted, maybe later killed, then you are just losing this game. But what else is better than trying? Um, the other option would be just to take this ruin yourself for 6 points. Restricting this square to 1 cap, the vanilla. Yes, this option would still be available, but maybe you hit it. The chances are 50-50. Yeah. Hi, Juan. The scoreboard is in the bottom left corner. So it's rather easy to answer the question. Just take a look there. We are in the replay. There are no clocks running. So the match is over and Glovir won and advanced to the final. Yeah, I think either the attack or taking the ruin would have been my move. And the more I look at it, the more I'd like to take the ruin, as it's just the approach with less downside. It's less problematic. This farmer could end up at 0 points, and even if it connects over here with likely a Dorito, you run into more problems due to quite likely having to meeple that Dorito. Also, would just snatch the ruin themselves. Yeah. So I think, why not take it? Limit this square. It could work, especially with these city pieces all still being out there. This could end up at 10 points, maybe even more. And you'd take the chance from yellow to snatch the juiciest ruin of them all. Of course, there's still another one which could be expanded, but why not? And the flip for the twin caps would be still available. The chances of yellow connecting here are rather slim. They need to hit dagger and curve before blue could do anything about this square, and that's rather unlikely. So I don't think that it was necessary to consider this field connection. Sure, in the end, these 3 points here with the curve would be annoying, so it would be better for blue to get the curve, but it's only minor. Yeah, so Glovir thinks Mars would have had the upper hand if he hadn't played as defensive as he did, and I'd have to concur. So to me, it really comes down to this move here. I think, blue clearly is the starting player and will be in the end. There won't be any tile discards with this many open city sides. So they have one move more than yellow. 7 to 6 moves here. They have the last move. They have the initiative, if you want. And yeah, this defense didn't work out in their favor, to say the least. Yellow's move here to take this one was exactly right. The only question would be whether it was the right decision to take it here. Could have gone there to prevent a re-attack, but it's available from here as well. And I think yellow's decision to go here stems from the option to maybe limit this square to protect the city cap and take away the field attacking option for blue. Might be. So then blue had the field attacking option again. And this time then I think they decided to take the city cap away from yellow. Well, let's see if they did. And they did. So it only works in a specific set of cases. So yellow drawing the quadruple crossroad or the curve, maybe curve could limit the city though. Yeah, so this doesn't look like it works all that great in most cases here. I mean, the extender would be annoying for yellow. You can't really justify this move. It's just too risky. So still not really a fan. Maybe in this case as well, now that you are down 6 points, attack the field, hope to draw the vanilla yourself to score 9 points for the field, plus 4 points for the city for 13, taking a 7-point lead. 6 point actually, you would add 1 point to yellow's ruin. But this way you take away your best shot at tying the field. Again, this one on the right side has way inferior odds. Yeah, so I don't like this. Yeah, okay, yellow was more concerned with this move about field attacks and also wanted to have outside chances to close the city. Well, then you have missed this killed square. But the point about field attacks is valid. Adding anything over here to take this square away or block it. For example, it might be even worth it to add the curve here, even though it would give you 3 points on the bottom. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if this weren't here, I could surely see myself placing the curve there just to take this crucial square away from blue to attack the field. But after this one, doesn't really look great for blue. The ideal continuation for them, of course, would be yellow getting the quadruple crossroad. Oh, no, not even that one, as that would severely limit field attacking options. What actually then is the ideal continuation? Well, let's just give the extender to yellow. And then blue would love to get the twin caps to then connect with the Dorito. Yeah, but the chances aren't great. I think the best option still was just to take the ruin or attack the field. Okay. Yeah, safe building. Okay, well, safe, I don't know. Attacks were still available. So if you would have liked to build it safer, then this here would be your option. But going for the restriction of this field attack square, I think, was correct. While also still having the option to close the city yourself, of course, and therefore not taking it like this here, or, well, this would still leave the twin caps for here, or this one, which would still leave the vanilla. The problem with this option and using the twin caps like this would be a possible blue field attack, of course. So I think in the end, this move and its successor by blue did turn them in. And of course, there was or were still some permutations would have allowed them to successfully close their city and attack the field. They were few and far between, and the better chances would have been to take this ruin or attack the field earlier. I think I've said this 5 times now, so that's just enough. Let's take a look at the upcoming matches. Ukrainian Super League just started. Not interesting to me as of now. So tomorrow there will be, as of now, at least 3 matches happening. I might cover Meeple over People versus Rodas. Would be my first foray in Q2. I think this should be the semi-final. So why not? Not really familiar with them. I think played Meeple over People sometime or saw a game of them, but we'll see. Lawyer Phosphate is covered by Alexi, and I guess he will cover Smile versus Bluster as well. If not, I might do so. Well, I'll decide all this tomorrow. Yeah, and Nallerheim Rabbit Rain on a Saturday is indeed, and of course, a 5 gold star rated match, as both of them are way over 700 elo points. Dr. Zaihan Tehran PL was 5 gold star match of, I think, yesterday. So one of these two slipped below 700. I don't care for now. We will see about all these matches later in the weekend, as is usually the case. We'll be pretty busy with all these matches, and quite likely all streamers being in action as well. So we'll see about that. Just, well, subscribe if you want to get notified about streams happening. I think you even have to not just subscribe, but also change the notification settings there. Else just check in on Carcassonne.gg, which is this site here. And then streams should be listed over here. So thanks for tuning in. and I hope to see you soon. Good night, everyone. Bye bye.